Hi! Today we're gonna create a messy code and face its consequences. Not so serious because it is going to be a small and separated part of our project, but still. On the other hand, it has a good side too. More about that in the end of this video. To hide this text, we will use stars in canvas and simply set it inactive. That way we will hide this canvas and everything inside it. As you may guess, to show this light beam, we will just grab stars in light and set it active. To move the player down, we will start a coroutine we've created a long time ago. Its name is move to point, and here we will put our player copy and our landing point. Oh, and it is a transform type variable, so we need to use that position there. I don't remember which number is the use animation, so I will just skip it for now. And about moving the player to the left, copy this line, and instead of the landing point we will use starts in go to point. And to show authors we'll use a for each loop. We'll need every game object from authors array. We make it visible with setActive and true inside, and then we wait with yield return new, wait for seconds, let's say 1.5 is enough. After that we hide it using setActive. Alright, now let's talk about what happens in this loop. We start with the first one, we show it, wait a little bit, hide it, show the next one, wait a little bit and hide it, and so on, so on. The most important thing there is to make the gap between two authors long enough to make it readable, but we don't want to spend there all day, so don't make it too long. Cause it's a coroutine, we need to remember about one special thing there. Copy this line and paste it over here, and this will be our safety line. Oh, and of course it's not a void but an enumerator, because we use yield return new wait for seconds there. There is a little error, we just need to remove this new. And besides that, I think it will work way better if we move this line from the beginning to the end. We just need a tiny gap between showing up the last author and changing the scene. Now let's add some gaps to our animation. After we land, we need to wait a little bit before we move to the left. And after we start moving, we also need to wait a little bit. Now about the landing animation. We will grab the player copy, get its component, and it's a sprite animator, and we need to play animation. The animation is inside our player animations array, and it's number 2. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not that old to forget stuff. Or maybe I've just looked it up in the meantime, who knows? We don't know when we land, and we need to wait for it before we go further. I think it's a good time to use this player walking. We'll need to make a little mess over there and add a new condition. This line will happen if this object is player, original player, or our local scene is number 0. And let me check if we start with this number. Yes, we do. And now let's go to the click manager and modify this player walking. We set it to true by default. Just in case, let's go to Unity to check if it's true. No, it isn't. Now it is. And back to coding. We'll open a while loop and get component click manager to check out what's going on with the player walking boolean. If it's true, we will just wait one frame. And it is silly to get this component every frame, your computer won't like that. I mean, it won't break the game or slow it down in any visible way, But we still should save it somewhere and use once grabbed click manager. We'll need a click manager and just find it with get component click manager. We still need to check player walking boolean every frame though. If you try saving it too, you will end up with a local variable with copied value of player walking. It means it won't represent the original player walking in the click manager. Lastly, we need to hide the player before we start showing authors. To do this, we will need to grab sprite renderer component inside the player. We will go to player copy and there get component sprite renderer. As we got it, we are ready to hide the player, which means to gradually reduce its sprite renderer's colors alpha until it's 0. As you remember, we must change a whole color, not only an alpha of it, and to do this we will need another color and we'll set it to the same value as the sprite renderers. And now we may go down and open a while loop. There we will check if the alpha is bigger than 0. If yes, we need to do a few things. First, we need to reduce it, and to make it simple, let's just use time.delta time here. That way we will go to 0 in 1 second. In every step of the loop, we also need to change the color of the sprite renderer and wait 1 frame. It was a lot of writing, but if we don't have any errors there, we may go to Unity and finish it. The first missing thing is this starting canvas. It is this one, and I think we should rename it to make it clear what it is. Maybe we also should rename this in the code, but whatever. You decide what to do with it. The next thing is starts in light, it's over there. And we need the player copy, landing point, the landing point is over there, and starts in go to point. We missed this autos array, so let's open it up and fill it with those 3 elements. Alright, it looks like we got everything. Now we may close it up and enable this title canvas. Now disable the light and the scene looks like it should be at the beginning. Let's enter the play mode and let's click this play button. Oh, we have an error. What a surprise. That's because in the play button we tried to reach this start game function, but we changed it from the void to enumerator. As you can see, we can't find it in this menu, but Unity seems to be a bit confused and still tries to reach it. To fix it in a fast and easy way, we need to copy this line, paste it above, change its type to void, open curly brackets, and first we need to rename this enumerator to something like start game coroutine, because it is a coroutine. And in this void we need to start this coroutine, and that should work. Let's check it again, and yeah, we got it. But in a second or two we get another error. This happens just as the player lands, so let's go to the player copy and let's see what we have here. Oh, we don't have a sprite animator, and that may cause a problem if we want to reach it. We need a sprite render, and for the base animation, empty state would be okay. Let's check it out again. And now it is almost good. We are stuck at landing animation, and to fix it, let's copy those lines and play another animation just as we finished waiting. Let's also change 2 to 1, which is a walking animation index, but I think it would be better if the player stands and waits a moment before they start going. And to do this, let's change this wait time, duplicate this line, and in the middle let's play another animation. This time it will be idle animation, which is number 0. Now back to Unity. Yeah, now it's good, but this fading out effect is a little bit too long. I also don't like this timing, so let me change it a little bit. And back to this fading out effect. We need a new float and let's name it player vanishing time in seconds. 0.5 would be enough. Now we need to go to this while loop and divide the time delta time by this float. It looks a little bit better, but I think it's not the case, so let's have a look again. It turned out that this line should be below this while loop. We need to start hiding the player just as they start going away. Yes, I don't know about you, but for me it was a lot of fun. Maybe in the future we will change this part to something better, we will use universal render pipeline, but it is a far future. Please remember that what we wrote isn't perfect, it isn't even pretty. Basically we should avoid programming like that. The game simply doesn't have required structure for such a complex animation. Maybe this would be a good occasion to use a Unity's animator, but if we don't want to use it, we don't use it. What I wanted to show you is that if you don't have everything you need to do something advanced, you still can achieve your goals, even in a quite short amount of time, but you need to think about that like an experiment, and it's anyhow good only if you don't need to touch it anymore. If you think about it for a moment, if you would like to add another advanced animation, you'll need to write everything over again, and it would be messy and useless for anything except this one animation again. Anyway, it was the last time we do something like that in this project. The next episode will be another milestone because we will be working on equipment. We will finally see the items we pick up. Have a good day and see you soon!